Radeon Kodak Company is happy to bring you America's favorite family, the Nelson.
You know, I can't think of a better time than right now to make yourself this promise. Why not decide to put your family in your own home movies? They're full of action, full of color, and your family will enjoy them for years to come. And with a Brownie movie camera by Kodak, it's just so easy you won't believe it.
You know, if someone were to ask me, name 3 of the coolest events happening each year. Well, I would certainly say number 1, my birthday, number 2, Coachella, and 3rd, Burning Man. But if it came to tech, I would definitely say my birthday, CES, and NAB. That's it. You see, while CES is mainly focused on consumer electronics, NAB Jam is all about the content creator. The NAB Show is an annual trade show produced by the National Association of Broadcasters. It provides a great opportunity to check out all the latest equipment and technologies, as well as some truly informative seminars. The show began exactly 100 years ago, in 1923, right when Kodak was touting their latest 16mm color film. In the 1960s, a number of cutting-edge, compact, portable color cameras came around and had been sold for $60,000, which is about $235,000 of today's money. Now, don't expect me to show you flashy electronics just to show off and pretend to be cool. I truly believe these tools are very, very powerful, and best of all, they won't break your bank. So here they are, my top 5 tools for content creators from NAB 2023. Number 5. Asus ProArt Z790 Content Creator Motherboard.
It's a powerful system with the latest 13th gen processor support with DDR5, and you have flexibility of supporting a lot of the storage, also dual LAN support. You have up to 10 gigabit and also 2.5 gigabit LAN support. You can support up to the latest graphic cards from both AMD and NVIDIA. So this one right here features a RTX 4080 graphics cards, as well as the 13th gen up to i9 13900K processor.
Number 4. Davinci Resolve 18.5 Relight tool.
So what I'm doing is I'm using our Relight tool to generate a normals map, which represents the 3D geometry of the scene. And then I'm using that combined with another Relight node. I'm actually combining it with our depth map, which is going to make a matte based on the depth of the image, because I don't want the relighting effect to do anything to the background. I want to just relight him. Then in addition, I've got a key of just his shirt, and I'm using what's called a key mixer to combine the matte with the depth map and the shirt key. So I'm taking and saying, basically I've got a pipeline here that I've drawn with the nodes that says relight only his face, not the background, and not his shirt. And then from there, it generates a matte. It generates a combined matte that I can use with any of our normal color grading tools to adjust color or intensity.
Number 3. Hot dog bun motorized slider.
We've got one hot dog slider here. That's right, we name all of our products after food. So this one is called hot dog. And we've got a manual slider, and also with a motor, it will become motorized. The motor is called bun. So altogether, hot dog bun slider. And this one right here is the 1 meter hot dog slider. And you can set point A and B on the motor, or you can use it with the app. When the slider is mounted on one tripod, we suggest to add 2 stability arms, like this setup over here.
Number 2. Krotos Studio.
We're well known in post-production, the high-end mood used in all these TV series, games and films. But we've learned a lot from that process. We made a new product called Krotos Studio that takes a lot of those lessons and makes them super easy to use, super accessible, and really fantastic choice for filmmakers wanting to get a high quality sound effects into their project. So let's take a look. So What I'm going to do today is I'm going to run Krotos Studio as a standalone application here, and I'm going to use Davinci Resolve in the background, and I'm going to redesign this clip really quickly. So we've got someone walking around in a hallway, we've got some footsteps, we've got some movement, we've got some gunshots, we've got some trailer effects. So let's do that really fast. We're using Krotos Studio. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my ambience category. I'm going to load up a city preset. So as soon as I load that up, it's going to start generating that environment on from scratch on the fly. Nice thing about Krotos Studio now is I can actually customize that environment. So if I want to reduce the traffic, increase the likelihood of hearing sirens, there is sirens started there now. The great thing about that is I'm really customizing that to the feel of the scene. So I feel like I don't want it too overwhelming. I want some sirens in there to add a little drama. And cool, so rather than searching for a file that's going to be just right, I've just made it straight away. So as soon as I stop interacting with the product, I can actually just pick up that ambience that I've generated or any file I've generated and drop it straight to my timeline. So that's really, really fast to get that customized sound right in there. And with a couple of quick edits, I've now got my customized ambience right in my timeline. Cool. All right, so let's move on. Let's do a new type of sound effect. So next thing we're going to do is we need some footsteps for this second shot here. She's walking up the stairs. So let's do that really fast. So I can use Krotos Studio to do that as well. So if I go to my footsteps category, open up my boots preset, all I need to do to generate a unique step is just click with my mouse. Every time I step, it's going to be a unique effect. I can also walk across surfaces if I want to, going from gritty concrete, walking through a puddle, and coming back. But for this scene, we just need some nice clean steps going up some stairs. So let's do that in sync, and then we'll drag the recording back onto the timeline. All right, so back we go. Let's play the clip. Here we go, there are the steps, 1, 2, 3. Cool, so now I'm just going to stop. I'm going to pick up my recording, that little footsteps performance I did, and I'm going to take it back into Resolve and sync it back up. Cool, right, that was easy. Next, we're going to do some cloth Foley. We're going to do some movement to make that sound even more realistic, to just gel this thing together. So I'll go to Foley, open up my cloth preset. So all I need to do now is actually just use my mouse to gesture to perform that movement. So super easy now. Since our character's wearing a leather jacket, I'm just going to adjust the layer here. So I get a leather layer. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Sounds more like what I want. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to play my clip and I'm going to perform that sound effect now. So it's got all that nuance of actually a human performance, but we're doing it digitally in the box. And then I'm just going to drag it over to my timeline, sync it up, and let's see how that sounds. Nice. Okay, so next thing we need is, she's got a weapon, so we need a kind of gun handling sound. So if I look for my gun Foley preset, there we go. I need this satisfying sort of Hollywood click as I raise the weapon. That's easy to do as well. There we go. So I got that sound that I had in my head into my timeline there in just a couple of seconds. So no more searching through your sound library anymore. Cool, right, next thing, we need a nice dramatic gunshot, so let's do that. So I'm going to load up my weapon category and load up pistol. And all I need to do is click to generate the shot. If I wanted to go further away, I can just click further away. If I need a reload, I can just click a quick button. But I just need a nice powerful shot, so I'm just going to make a few quick adjustments with the controls. Cool, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Pick this up, drag it over, and sync it up. And there's my customized gunshot. Awesome. Right, next we got this trailer reveal. So we need some nice dramatic trailer drop or something like that. So I go to my cinematic category, load up this preset, and all I need to do now is click and move through the layers as they're generating to create a new unique effect. And again, pick that up, drag it onto my timeline, and there we go. So actually I feel like I need a little whoosh transition right into that hit. So what I'm going to do is going to load up a whoosh and I'm going to perform that as well. So this can be as long or as short as I want. There we go. So a nice quick airy whoosh. And I'll do one more for luck. There we go. Actually, I think it needs to be a bit faster. Let's try one more time. There we go. Now I can pick that up, pop that in my timeline just to lead up to the hit to make it sound even more dramatic. Okay, let's try that. There we go. And just for luck, I'm going to do a different transition effect to finish the clip as it cuts out. So I'm going to click and move. Pick that one up, and I want that to go right there. Okay, one more time. There we go. Easy as that. So you can use this exact workflow that we've done with Resolve, with Premiere, Media Composer, any type of editor that you're using. This is available right now. There's a free version that contains just a couple of these presets. There's a version for $29, which contains everything we looked at today. In a couple of months, we'll be launching a full version, probably on subscription, that will allow you to get more and more packs all the time.
Number 1. Audio Design Desk.
Welcome to Audio Design Desk 2.0. So the first thing we want to do, we want to import all the audio from our existing Premiere session. We can easily just select import audio and it's all here on my timeline for you. And I hear that the dialogue here is very dirty. There's a lawnmower in the background of this dialogue track and we need to clean it up. So we're going to use one of our new apps called Isolator. If I drag this sound into Isolator and say noise reduction, Audio Design Desk will give us a stem that we can split apart and we can now listen to just our dirty lawnmower sound, or we can listen to our new clean dialogue. And it's very clean. That's cleaned it up a ton. So we can save ourselves time doing all of our dialogue edits here. Now that we have that, we want to add more sounds. Our video editor was gracious enough to give us a couple whooshes, but we know that we need to add other more intense sounds such as rises. We need other transitions out here, maybe even adding a hit out here for when the fight starts. And if we don't like any of these sounds, we could easily just select them, press Command R, and we could replace those sounds while maintaining our sync point on the timeline. So we've eliminated all the time it takes to delete these, go find a new sound, and resync them to video. And I can even get really specific. I can go to my genre, I can say action, I can say this is a very intense action film. Now when I replace these sounds, I get very intense action sounds perfectly on my timeline that'll work great for this clip. Well, let's listen to it. Awesome. All right, so I'm loving the start here. Now we need to start doing some Foley. If we've done any Foley in the past, it's very difficult to chop all of those stems up into elements and sync them manually. But we have created this custom triggers pad where I dragged a stem of body punches onto the 4 key and chopped them up into elements for me. That means I can press the 4 key and I get that individual punch placed right there at the point of my playhead. I can then go back to the start of my timeline. I can scrub through and press 3 for all my whooshes anytime I see the bag whipping back and forth there, which is a significantly faster way of adding Foley than anything we've been doing. Or I can go back and score my entire Foley session here in real time just by pressing number keys. Okay, so just like that, we were able to get all the Foley for this scene. And it might not be 100%. One thing I noticed is the whooshes were fairly loud. So we have a content-aware timeline that understands the difference between sounds, which means I can go to my select drop-down, go to subtype, and select swoosh. If I press shift down 3 times, it's all down 6 decibels now. And I can even then do the same exact thing for all my body punches to mix this. But we have a new feature with 2.0 called Auto Mix. If I open up Auto Mix here, I can set in my target left standard here, and Audio Design Desk will go through every individual region and balance them to match that target standard. And now that we have that set, the last thing we want to do to tie all of this together is we want to add some music. So we can mute this, I can press Z, and I now have a full mix music cue that I can then replace and audition several different music cues in real time while watching my video, saving time of downloading the wrong music cue and auditioning it manually. Or we can even create a custom score. So I like to open up our trigger pad, go to music, and let's say I want it to be percussion heavy, so I'm going to select beat and percussion. We can press play. I like the start of this. Maybe I want to add a rhythmic element to it. All right, I'm liking where this is going, but I'm noticing that these regions are recorded at different tempos. So I can turn on tempo stretch over here. And when I do, Audio Design Desk will stretch any region that has BPM metadata on it to match my global tempo, which I have set to 120. Awesome, now that score is sounding great for this scene. We can unmute it, go to the beginning, see everything we've created so far. Awesome. And just like that, we now have our entire composition and sound design done for this clip that we can then send back to Premiere if we want to continue editing, or we can send it to our favorite DAW to do a final mix and master. We also have some other things that we're releasing. One of those is Maker AI. That is essentially a new parent website where we have a bunch of AI tools that any user, anyone with internet connection can jump onto and use some of these neat AI features within Audio Design Desk separately from the app. So like that isolator that we showed earlier, which is a stem separation tool. If we want to create karaoke versions of tracks, we can easily isolate the vocals out of that. Or if we need to clean dialogue because of dirty ambiences in the background when we recorded them, we can easily cut all of those sounds out and leave you with just the clean dialogue. It's a very powerful tool. And then we also have Plot Point that's coming out where you can upload your script into Plot Point, and then you can ask your script questions. So if you're an actor, you can say, what's my motivation for this scene? And then it'll tell you exactly how you should act that based on your backgrounds and things that happened in the previous scenes. Or for our sound design purposes, you could ask it, what sound should I add to this scene? And it'll give you all of those sounds and tell you exactly where to place it, as well as it'll show you where in the marketplace to download those sounds if you don't already have them.
Honorable mention, AMD Radeon Pro W7000 series graphic cards.
Hi, welcome to NAB 2023. My name is Jimmy Holbert and I'm the Director of Workstation and Creative Strategy. And we're super excited to be talking about our brand new Radeon Pro products here with the AMD Radeon Pro W7900 and AMD Radeon Pro W7800. And brand new to the professional graphics market for AMD is a 48 gig frame buffer graphics card. And then the 7800 is a 32 gig. A really awesome feature is the price point as well. So you can see very competitive across some of the key specs like VRAM and SpecView Perf. The newer DisplayPort, slightly lower TPP at actually less than half the cost of the competitive product. And over here, we pretty much beat them across the board.
These are the first products on the professional graphics world that are bringing you DP 2.1. And this graphic represents basically the lanes or the number, how much data can come through that pipe, if you will. And what this is going to define is what refresh rate, resolution, and color bit depth. And this is the rest of the world on DisplayPort 1.4. And what we're doing is introducing that DisplayPort 2.1 with these two new products, designed for that heavy workload across 2D and 3D pipelines.
We live in a time where filmmaking is truly accessible for almost everyone, so take advantage of this.